everything because people think I smoke meth and call the
Right.
cops on me. So
Well, it's Ryan's record, so.
it actually doesn't matter anymore. I mean, Dave, if you hung out with somebody for 2 weeks, a girl,
Yeah.
okay, you took them out to eat and drove them around, you picked them up, you held the door for them, the whole night, sung to them, had fun, laughed,
Mhm.
made them feel special,
Sure.
and you didn't get laid for 2 weeks.
Sure.
Would you keep hanging out with them?
All right. Whoa. Hey. Hey. Good. Can't hear.
Yes. Perfect. Amazing.
You can hear, but I can't hear.
You can't hear me. It's rough. Technical difficulties on the pod, people.
Back.
Oh, we're live.
Fixed already. Okay, let me add context. Well, let me get a chance to get context. What is the goal with this person?
I like how you did that. Well, David, I was told that they don't want me.
They don't want you.
Don't want me.
They told you that.
They told me that. Asked them out. They said, "No, I don't want you. I don't want to be with you." I still hung out for a little bit, not expecting anything because, I don't use women just for their holes, David. I think women are amazing. And the things women bring to me outside the bedroom make the bedroom better. Like, intimacy is intimacy is the downstream effect of chemistry, experience, and general understanding, I believe. Right, like, I could literally go pay for sex. That's what kinda aggravates me. I literally have enough money in my pocket today. Not that I need to be spending money like this, but I could go drop $150 right now, get a lap dance for, like, an hour and a half, and get my dick sucked or laid at the end of it. All day, right? Like, literally, okay? But somehow taking them out to dinner or taking them out on their birthday or driving them around town and playing darts and making them laugh and talking about real deep interpersonal stuff and seeing where their heart and mind lies. That shit, when you do all that and then you have sex, it's way better. Believe it or not, women. Men don't just like you because you have a vagina. Now, most men that can't get laid will literally only like you for your vagina sometimes, but I gotta love with you. I could probably get a girlfriend any day of the week. That's what I'm not gonna say upsets me or bothers me, but
I guess I'm confused because
withholding intimacy from men is a form of abuse. Is basically where I'm going. I will die on this sword. I've been in long-term relationships that I was ignored for years, basically, like literally. And the things it does psychologically to a man when he can't be intimate with a woman, particularly a woman you've been with for a long time, or even a woman you've known for a little bit that you've already been intimate. It's not like it's just, I haven't slept with. You know what I mean? It's not like we didn't have sex before. But it's like, and it's weird to try to talk to them and frame this in a way that doesn't sound like you're just trying to use them for their body, which is why you take them on dates and you talk to them and you hold the door for that. Like, I don't do that for strangers. Like, I hold the door for a stranger, but I'm not holding your hand and asking you how your day is and you're amazing. Like, I'm not doing the same thing, right? Like, I have the mother of my child. I don't call her every day to see how she's doing. I barely talk to her. My kid's old enough now. She's getting into the double digit ages. Like, there's gonna come a point that I probably won't even talk to her mother. Like, literally, I might not see her mother for years at some point, except it's for some like event, school thing, taekwondo. You know what I mean? Like, there's gonna be the instances, but like, if I don't do that with the person, because I'm not having sex with her, you know what I mean? Like, but the person I'm pouring into or the people I pour into, and like, I want to have sex with you. Like, I don't know why this is a problem.
Okay. Let me try. Let me try this.
I like this.
So, well, maybe I'm like simpler or whatever, but I think I could break down the relationship you would have with a woman in basically 3 categories. So there is I think my opinion, the most basic category, which is you just have sex with her. Okay, so there could
Hose.
be sure, yes. So there is potential that this woman is just a hoe and you just want to have sex with her. Okay.
Mhm.
Potential two is you actually want nothing to do in that realm at all, and you just want to be friends with her. Scenario three is like both. You think that this is a person worth pursuing, both emotionally and physically. So I guess my answer to your original question would change depending on what category this person is supposed to be. Would I hang out with a girl that I just want to sleep with for 2 weeks and not have her sleep with me? Absolutely not.
And why is that, David? Can you explain why?
Because if I just want to sleep with this person, I'll just sleep with somebody else. Because I can sleep with,
Right, because after 2 weeks of investment, like, I could probably go,
I will literally sleep with somebody in a day. It does
"Yeah, yeah,
like if
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just going
yeah,"
to sleep with somebody, I will find 7 different girls. It's not difficult.
or pay somebody. I literally could pay somebody to fuck me. Did I like,
Sure. I mean,
it's not
if you're really struggling, sure, but like
it's not
in general,
struggling,
like
it's just
it's
not
not
struggling,
difficult in general though.
I'm just right, you're right, I'm just saying, if I only cared about your hole, I could pay for sex. Like, if that like, seriously, if I only cared about that from women, I would just pay for sex. Charlie Sheen, you don't pay him to show up, you pay him to leave.
So based on what you've described, I'm assuming it's not category one. I'm assuming it's
No.
not category two either.
No. I mean, I don't Dave, to be honest with you, the only girls that I'm friends with, I either don't wanna have sex with you or you're like, I work with you, and I don't wanna have sex with you.
Mhm.
Because men want the combo meal a lot of times. When you like a girl, you probably wanna have sex with her too, like, you wanna be with her. Like, most men, if you give them the hamburger and the fry, they're like, "Man, I want the pop too." You know what I mean?
So then to put this person in category three, then I'm assuming.
Yeah. I would say so, until
Um,
they told me to get fucked.
would I go 2 weeks without if I think I would if I think this person's worth pursuing to that level. And in fact, if this person is worth pursuing to that level, I would almost prefer they don't immediately put out because then I start to think they're not worth pursuing to that level.
Right, but we're talking
'Cause
about, like, a person you don't know that you
now
like,
I'm starting to think you're yeah, but I'm starting to think you're category 1 now, right? Like if
y
I think this person's worth pursuing and I'm like, "Oh, I wanna, like, get to know this person," and, like, we just, like, day 1, now I'm like, "Okay, maybe you're not the person I thought you were." I would almost prefer that person makes me wait because now I think, like, this is actually a person worth having.
Okay. If the person making me wait or making you wait is telling you simultaneously that they're worried about you fucking other people, what do you say to that then?
Then it doesn't either she doesn't know you or if she thinks that's actually the case, she might not think you're worth
Worth
having either.
pursuing? Or she's got another boyfriend and she's talking to somebody else.
It's good. In which case, also not worth pursuing.
Yeah, no, well, that's kind of like the thing, right? That's why they're hoes.
Mhm. Yeah, now you're category 1, so, like, let's just do that and get move on with it here.
Dude, I like the idea of just calling women category 1 or category 3. It's almost like a PPE rating. Like, this is good for radioactive and this is only good for dust. This is
Yeah,
category 1 PPE. This is
is
category.
yeah, yeah, category 1 is dust for sure.
I'm not putting anybody on blast on the internet, quite frankly, David. I just think I've had this, I'll call it a labor intensive emotional tightrope.
Hmm.
Maybe it says more about my unhealthy habits than theirs. It's just interesting, because I almost framed it to them that if roles were switched, like I feel like I'm doing all the investment. I'm doing all the time. I'm doing most of the money. I'm doing most of the driving. I'm doing most of the planning. I'm doing most of the. I'm literally doing, let's say, 85% to be generous here,
Sure.
and I didn't get anything as far as like feeling like real intimacy. Now I mostly only care because they also told me they think I'm fucking other people, you know? Or that you're out talking to other girls. If you're worried about me talking to other women or being with other women, why aren't you having sex with me?
Hmm.
Because here's the thing, if you're not having sex with me, but you're worried about me having sex with people, first of all, that makes me think you're having sex with somebody else, right? But it also, if you're calling me all day and I'm spending all my extra time with you, like, I have all this investment, I'm getting none of, like, I'm basically treating you like my girlfriend. I'm not getting what girlfriends do for their boyfriends. Like, at some point, it's like the juice ain't the squeeze, dude. Like, I don't know what you don't get. I'm not shaming anybody, but like, even the idea of like just trying to express myself socially, they would say that all I care about is their body. Because in the grand scheme of things, the thing I'm worried about, or the thing that I'm magnifying here, is that I haven't got laid from this person.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, I've done everything else that would constitute the opposite. I didn't pressure them. I didn't say I didn't try to like, I took you on dates, saw you on your birthday. I open doors for girls. Men don't do that ever. In general, it doesn't happen. The car door, you haven't touched a door. You don't touch doorknobs around me. My daughter doesn't touch doorknobs. She waits at the fucking door for me to open the fucking door. My daughter knows that when you're with dad, you don't touch doorknobs. My daughter waits for me to open the car door. I don't do that for other people's kids. You understand? Like, but I guess what I'm saying, the way that my time, energy, money, experience, my personality, all the things that I provide to relationships is the same way you feel about your body as a woman. I know it doesn't seem like it. Men like to relate it to money. I'm adding all of the other stuff. It's not even about the money I've spent on you, because honestly, I can always make more money. I could care less about the money, because once again, if I only cared about money or women, I would just go get paid to get sex. Because when you think about it, paying for sex is actually the most cost beneficiary, the most time. It's the best bang for your buck, literally. That's why prostitution is the oldest fucking thing.
Sure, I'm just gonna pay for an hour
Yes, and then leave. And then tomorrow I can come back for another hour.
if I want,
Yeah.
or someone else.
Yes, and I don't have to question it. It's not like
Mhm.
there's no expectation of like, "Oh, I have to hold the door and like treat you like I could just fuck you like a whore and leave and not feel bad." She don't feel bad. She don't feel bad because she got what she wanted, and I don't feel bad because I got what I wanted. It was a mutual.
You know what's funny about that? This
This is
is gonna
great.
sound so fucking. This is gonna
Say
sound so.
send it. Don't even preface. Send it. This is violent philosophy, David.
That's why the relationship with whores work,
Yes,
because there's
the best relationship I ever had was with a girl. I would just drive over there and fuck her when her kids were asleep, and I would leave.
yes. Okay, now since you didn't let me preface it, let me explain.
Sorry.
The reason that relationship works so well is because the expectation is preset. Everyone knows where they're at. But in a weird way, if serious relationships were handled in that fashion, your relationship would be better.
Yeah, how come I have better relationships with whores than I do intimate?
Because
r-
the expectation is set. It's preset ahead of time. Look, I could expand this into like leadership roles and all types of shit. Dude,
Send it, dude. Send it. Send violent philosophy, dude. This is it.
and also when you lead people, okay? I swear to God I could do this. And it doesn't matter. The field doesn't matter. I'm in automotive. You could put me in a restaurant. It's irrelevant because it's all this. You could put me on a football field. It's all the
It's
same.
human nature, right? It's human nature.
It's all the same. All you have to do is you need to set the expectation, set the standard, right? You need to teach them how to hit the expectation or the standard, and then you need to hold them accountable if they don't hit the expectation or the standard. You do those three things in any realm, and you can lead people.
Is this why men
I could.
think marriage is a bad bet? Because when I try to hold my wife accountable, she can just say "fuck you," you can't, and then she just chocolate starfishes and never puts out for you.
Sure, but the problem is, you've gone to get to a point where you're married. You've gone so far down the hole that you clearly weren't holding people accountable the whole time.
Which is probably why you got married.
That's why, and there's no, and this is the number one mistake people make raising kids too. And I don't like claim to be the best parent on planet Earth or anything, but I see this like all the time, where like parents won't discipline their children for years, and then the kids acting out, and they're like, "Well, I just don't know what to do." I'm like, "Well, that's because you can't do anything anymore because you already, it's already way past. Like you should have been doing this years ago. You should have been disciplining them years ago. You let them go 10 years without discipline, and now at 11, you're like, I don't know what to do. I
Will
just
you
bad
shame your
kids.
kid in public if he doesn't listen?
Fuck yeah."
Yeah, like it's so. I was sitting down eating a sandwich. I went to Weggy's, got a nice sub. I'm sitting there. There's a
Dude,
dude,
their subs are so good. It's
so
so
good,
crazy.
so good. It's crazy, and they have hot workers, so it's even better. So I'm sitting there eating my sandwich, and behind me is a dude with his two kids, and he's fucking probably can't see his dick, and he's got to go pick his wife up after or whatever with his kids, and they're crawling all over the place. He's like, come on, sit down. He's talking all kind. Sit down. Come on, just sit down and finish your chips. I'm gonna eat your chips if you don't. Oh my god, I'm being a little overzealous here, but it was like that. Now I know in my head, I genuinely don't care if people judge me. I don't care if you call CPS by the time I leave the store. I'm not gonna beat my kid. I'm not gonna abuse my kid. But I would look at my daughter and be like, dude, sit the fuck down. Like, sit down and eat your shit. Like, I might have 35 seconds. I might have a minute. I might be very nice. I might give him even the 3 thing is too much. Like,
Yeah,
one more
you don't have
time.
to fly off the
Wh
handle immediately, but at the same time, like I'm telling you once, and if you don't do it, now I'm mad.
The greatest shit I ever told my kid was like, "Why do I got it?" It's like, "'Cause I said so."
Mhm.
And I don't
100%.
and I genuinely say whatever you want. It's not changing. And if you don't listen, I will make you listen. I will make you listen. I have taken my kid out of the store kicking and screaming. You know, I did the one thing one time. My daughter kept asking for stuff. I was like, "Look, kid, you ask for one more thing, I'm fucking leaving the store." "Daddy, can we?" I was like, "Nope, that's it." I didn't even say that. I just pushed the cart to the side. I was full of shit. I pushed the cart to the side and I grabbed her up. She was scratching my eyeballs on the way out the door. I got her to the car. I sat her
100%.
down. I probably yelled at her a little bit, and I drove away.
Mhm. 100%.
So
But the
yeah, if
problem,
if I have to hold
but
my daughter
people,
accountable, I can't hold like the person that I'm trying to have a relationship with accountable.
you have to hold everybody accountable, and they have to hold you accountable. It's a
Uh,
two-way street.
you should also hold yourself accountable. It's a three-way street. I'm not asking you to do something I wouldn't do
Dude,
myself.
is this the same Mandy from YouTube? We got Mandy on Rumble now.
Yes, Mandy. Thanks. We
It
get
says
paid
wait
there.
till she turns. It says wait. It says wait till she turns 15. This has to be
Ah,
the same Mandy. Is it a second
ah,
Mandy?
double Mandy. I
What
like
if it's a second separate, also Canadian Mandy? That'd be
ooh,
funny.
Canadian fucking doppelganger Mandy.
Dual Mandys.
Mandy, how close are you to Buffalo? I will just drive and meet you. I don't need I'm not even trying to get anything. I just wanna
She
meet
said,
my
"Yup, it's me." Hell yeah!
Yes!
Welcome to Rumble. Rumble's
Yes!
so much better.
We made it. We made it, boys. We're live. We're live.
I love Rumble. I really do love Rumble.
It's
Rumble's
great.
the whole reason we say the crazy shit we say on YouTube is because I know I got Rumble and I don't really care what happens to YouTube.
I didn't really care to begin with, David, but I'm glad that you're there for us pulling the channel forward. Jesus was
uh,
very disagreeable. I will
yeah,
die on that cross every day of the week, dude. There ain't no way Jesus was, all right, everybody just like relax. It's like, nah, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, I don't know why we're acting like he was like a nice person at the end of the day. The guy got crucified.
she said she's too old for you.
Never too old, dude. What are you, like 65?
But hold on.
You gotta
The
have a
good news is
granddaughter somewhere in there.
yeah,
A
no,
daughter,
but she was,
granddaughter?
well, it's about, yeah, she was, listen, she
What's
was nice
too
about it though.
old? Oh, I'm
She
sorry. You don't
wasn't
ask a
like,
woman your age.
she wasn't like, oh no thanks, you're ugly or anything. She was like, no, I'm just too old. Like the only issue with this potential relationship here is that she's too old for you, right?
Well, you gotta know somebody in dating range, you know? And hey, if you want, you wanna go out to a nice restaurant with like a young man, I'll go out to eat. We got,
Ryan,
zero expectations here.
Ryan, I love that you're trying to get with our viewers. I
I'm not trying
the fact that her first
Hey,
comment
do it
was
for the
wait till she turns 15 makes me think that she has a
she
daughter
has a
who is
daughter.
in the
Yeah.
15 range. Could be
She's
wrong.
probably married. Her husband's right next to her. Like, who the fuck is this guy?
Dude, if her husband's watching, shout out, dude. Shout out.
Shout out to
You got
Phil, the murderer,
you got a
dude.
good
Soon
one.
to be.
I've read some of the chats. You got a good one.
It's all jokes, folks. It's all jokes. I'm really not like this in real life. I'm worse.
This is tame Ryan.
This is
Ryan for the show.
this is just philosophically violent Ryan, not actually violent Ryan. David, clearly.
I will say, as
Yep,
I was,
it's me. Yeah, I'm too old for it.
I will say, as I was saying though, it's
Thanks for the sense of humor.
accountability. Absolutely is a two-way street though. So you need to hold your daughter accountable. You need to hold your significant other accountable, but you got to let them. It has to be expected that they can hold you accountable too, because otherwise, it's never going to work.
You know, David, this is actually bringing up something I like kind of learned last weekend about yin and yang in the universe. And like I had a bunch of positive interactions in the night, and if I were to count that, if I were to weigh them on a scale, David, they might be like ounces. Okay, and it was all night. I met a couple electricians last weekend. I almost got a couple I probably got job opportunities about it. I met a fucking Samoan, Texas electrician in New
You
York.
met the Texas Samoan.
Yes, Texas Samoan who looks Mexican but isn't, wore a cowboy hat, cowboy boots, talked like the Southern Texas boy up in New York building the Tesla battery facility in New York City and Long Island. And he is also he built solar farms. So it's just kind of like
fucking stands out. I can tell you that.
Yeah, especially in fucking a Buffalo bar, dude. It's like Infow's kind of big around here, ain't it? I was like, it just popped up, dude. Abercrombie dropped their fucking new clothing line. But where was I going with that? Oh, micro encounters. I had these amazing micro encounters. I'm fucking. I know this is a thing for most strangers, but like when you go out, like you're almost like. I mean, I'll say this way. I'm not a fake person, but you definitely dial yourself up, right? Because it's exciting to meet new people. So like it just brings out like a new type of energy. Alcohol.
Well, there's
also helps
the show, right?
Yeah, yeah. But to be honest, David, I don't think I might be a little extra, but I'm always a little extra, right? So like a little extra for me out. I actually have to tame myself. I have to catch myself or I make people uncomfortable sometimes. And but the point saying that is like I had all these micro encounters with basically strangers. I basically made like acquaintances with 5 different people throughout the night. We had great conversations. They were all men. We talked about man shit. We talked about life. We talked about kids. We talked about this. Talked about the one Texas Samoan who gave me life advice. You know, like this guy didn't have to do. The point in saying that is I had all these amazing micro counters, and if I were to stack them up, it was a pretty substantial amount of energy. And then the only negative encounter I had was with somebody I knew for a very long time. And I realized in that moment that the negativity was the same amount if I were to weigh them as all those little micro encounters. And we do such a good job in this life of only caring about positive interactions that when negativity comes, it knocks you down. You're like, fuck, man, I'm having a bad day now. But in the grand scheme of things, all of life is 49%, 49%. Like in reality, a lot of the times you're only worried about good or you're only worried about bad. Right. And you fixate on those things. But in reality, it took me that moment to realize that, like, dude, I'm a positive oriented person, which is why, like, that's the mindset. That's the positive. I don't care what you do to me. I'm going to get back up. That whole, like, the drive and grit is based on if you were to factor it positive or negative, dark or light, whatever, yin or yang. I'm trying to go forward with momentum. I'm not regressing. But the thing is, you only have momentum because something is standing still, right? And I never realized that like all of your life is literally if you were to have 5 positive interactions tomorrow, you'll have 5 positive interactions. And you might have 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 of the opposite. But you only really remember the good or bad based on your predisposition to the things you focus on. And I don't know, I just think it's very interesting that as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that I was always trying to change the negative through the positive. When in reality, the only reason I have positive interactions is because there's negative interactions. If all interactions were negative, there'd be no positive interaction. There'd be no balance. There's always balance. And I heard an axiom. It's old, and we all say it, but you can't change what you can't change. And one of my principles, David, in this world is like, I will make the world, right? I will bend the world, which is good for some shit. But I gotta learn to pick my battles better. But when it comes to people, which is what this whole thing's about, I'm done trying to change people's perception. And in a way, like it sets you free in a way that you never could be free before. So that's what I think I learned the last 2 weeks. Now putting it into principle will probably take the rest of my life, but
Well, that was a good warm up, Brian. We got a good warm up in there. I do like how Ryan just I'll think I have an idea going into the show, and then Ryan will be like, he'll just say something before we even go live, and I'm like, no, now I have to change everything.
yeah, because we were gonna just talk about this privately for a minute. And you're like, no, we're going
Yeah,
live.
well, because I was originally just gonna put this clip up and just run it and go, but like, I mean, come on. Ryan asked me what would I do in that situation. We gotta film it. Ryan, this is really what we came to talk about today.
Is this good or bad? Like, let's be honest here. I don't even know what this is. Am I gonna
Public
be mad about
opinions have to talk about it.
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
Well, we
a
have
country
plenty of talented people
no, you
here.
don't. No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have. You don't have certain talents, and you have to. People have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment, like an unemployment line, and say, "I'm going to put you into a factory. We're going to make missiles," or "I'm going to put
How
you."
did we ever do it before?
Well,
Yeah, why don't you?
I'll give you an example. In Georgia, they raided because they wanted illegal immigrants out. They had people from South Korea that made batteries all their lives. You know, making batteries are very complicated. It's not an easy thing and very dangerous. A lot of explosions, a lot of problems. They had like 500 or 600 people, early stages, to make batteries and to teach people how to do it. Well, they wanted them to get out of the country. You're going to need that, Laura. I mean, I know you and I disagree on this. You can't just say a country's coming in, going to invest $10 billion to build a plant, and going to take people off an unemployment line who haven't worked in 5 years, and they're going to start making missiles. It doesn't work that way.
Why the fuck did you agree to get rid of illegal immigrants then?
Well, I did think it was interesting because he kept saying. Now, keep in mind, Trump ran on getting illegal immigrants out of this country, right? That was like he was one of his literally his biggest all the way back to his first term, right? It was one of his biggest things was
You don't have borders, you don't have a country.
Right, you don't have borders, you don't have a country. We're going to secure the borders, we're going to get the illegal people out, we're going to put America first, right? This was like the whole thing. Like this is literally Trumpism and MAGA and all this. And here he is in the interview and he's saying, well, they wanted to get rid of the illegals. They had to get rid of the illegals. It's like, okay, it's they now. It's they wanted to get rid of the illegals. We don't want to get rid of the illegals. This is what we voted for. This is what you ran on.
We voted for you to get rid of the illegals so that you could train American workers to take their jobs because they took the American workers' jobs. I'm pretty sure that's what we thought was going to happen. At least what you kind of said.
That's what I was under the impression of. That's kind of what, like, this was a big reason people voted for him.
I thought like the whole reason of you having Tim Cook and fucking Mark Zuckerberg and the CEO of Google sit there at that roundtable meeting when you're all fucking sucking each other's dicks under the table. Like, oh yeah, how much money are you investing in the country? Did Zuckerberg say the only way that I'm going to invest this money is if we keep our top people, and your top people all happen to be fucking H1N1 visas or what H1V1 fucking
H-1B.
COVID-19 visas? I also find it hard to think that you can't train somebody to make a bomb when you can make a bomb with toilet bowl cleaner.
Well, here's the thing. We have to acknowledge a couple different things to try to work this out, because I know what Trump's getting after. You understand this too, because it sounds like from what I've heard from you, stories from you and everything, you certainly work with young people who come in and you're at least somewhat
They're green
for training.
They're green, yes.
Get a rope. Paco is not treading on you, sweetie. Okay.
What does that even mean, dude?
Paco, the illegal immigrant who was working on Hyundai, apparently. You have to break this down in a few different ways. And
Get a rope, tie it around your own neck. Like, make some sense before you post some dumbass shit on my fucking channel. Fucking dickhead. Like, fucking make sense of that. I don't like.
Meaning, don't worry about the illegal immigrants. They're not taking your jobs.
Well, they're the ones murdering people. I thought, David.
Oh, sure. Listen. Here, let's.
I'm not worried about an illegal taking my job because I have a job illegal immigrants can't do.
Let's break this down. No, they do the drywall. That you get the electrical. Let's break this down, though. We have to be realistic. You have to be pragmatic to some degree when you're trying to run a country. You do have to take certain things, and the whole reason I into account, the whole reason I brought up the fact that you may potentially train people, and I certainly hire and train people. What you run into, and I know you've ran into this. I've certainly run into this all the time. It is extraordinarily difficult, especially when we start talking about skilled trades. Finding people who have not
that can read a tape measure.
Forget even talking about the X factor, right? The it factor, like the guy who's really, because every once in a while you get a guy and you're like, this guy's fucking legit. This is the guy.
He's not.
Every once in a while you get one of those, but for every one of those, you have 100 that you're like, oh my god, like beating your head against the wall. Like, this guy ain't it. It's not going to work.
Like, how the fuck did you make it to 40?
It's the lack of effort, it's the lack of intelligence, it's the lack of care, right? It's all these things all bundled up into one sometimes. And it's like, man, I want this to work, but I can tell, and I never prejudge people, but I do get the feeling, and I can't tell, but you can tell literally sometimes 30 seconds into an interaction, like, this ain't it. You really can. And then you give them the fair shot. You give them a fair shake. I'm not saying you act on that, but you give them a fair shake, and then you try, and you're like, every day is kind of like proving you a little more right. Every day you're like, oh my god, the kid was 5 minutes late today. Doesn't seem like a big deal, but 5 minutes late, 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late. I'm starting to lose hope. You know. And the point I'm making is, it's extremely difficult to find skilled people here. I guess if you were going to do an immigration system, how would you do it? You would pick and choose, right? Because right now that's not what we do. Like, our immigration system is like people who want to come here, and then we decide whether or not they're allowed to come here. But like,
well, this kind of goes to the thing of like, are they doing jobs that Americans don't want to do? Like the whole strawberry fields. Well, would you go pick strawberries for $4 an hour, David?
No, fuck no. But in this particular case where we're talking about working in a Hyundai plant building EV batteries, that's probably a fairly decent job, I would imagine.
I would like to think that pays $20 an hour, somewhere in there.
Yeah, you think that's going to be a halfway decent factory job? Maybe a union, right? You might have decent benefits. You might be making
401k
50,
match.
60 a year. I'm not saying you're fucking rich, but like 50, 60 a year with good benefits when you were on the unemployment line, that's certainly better.
It's actually like one of the things we've talked about on the world that on the pod, that the world is being specialized. Like, and I'm somebody that not only was I a shitty student, but the school system was just not, we can say it was not built for my type of mentality, which is fucking broken home and bad father figures, which I get completely. But the thing that saved me was first Barack Obama giving me money to go to college. Like, literally the thing that changed me was government money. Like, I don't think I really thought about this or talked about this on the pod, but Scott Calloway actually changed my point of view a little bit, because I never even realized, I always attributed to my own success, but if I didn't get financial aid for being poor, I would have never went to trade school. Now, when I got out of trade school, the place I went and worked, where I met Dave many years later, I didn't use any of those skills for 5 years. But I can say that because I didn't do the job that I went to college for. But in reality, all the micro skills I learned in college, and Harkness, and all the people I met, the experience, my classmates, gave me the skills to do that job to begin with.
Mm-hmm. So, in the 5 years before you started doing that job,
I was being groomed to be able to do that job.
Right.
So yes, without Barack Obama, I'd probably be a drug addict. Without government, without financial aid, I would have been a
Well,
drug addict or
you
sold
you
drugs.
well, you like meth, so.
Clearly, it's the only way you
Um,
have Jesus-like revelations. Yeah, the point I'm saying in this before, I'll give it back to you is like, I think what we're missing, and this is something I actually say in my company and the companies I've worked in, and honestly, Dave, minus everything but the dealership that we worked at, a lot of companies are really hesitant to invest in their employees. And they're the first ones to say, we want qualified people, we want high quality people. You have to build high quality people. I'm sorry.
100%.
You have to build like high performing people. It takes 10 years to build that. Like I just told you guys about all the shit I put in ChatGPT. That shit, like the person I am today, took 10 years to make. So for me to walk on a job site, be confident, have the abilities, have the ability to lead, have the way to train, know how to talk to people, have the emotional intelligence, also be part dickhead. I argued with somebody at work today because I'm fucking a dickhead and so is he. Like I'm not perfect. I'm flawed as fuck. But it took me 10 years to admit my flaws. Like even the negatives of my personality, of the negatives that I bring to job sites or the negatives I bring to, I never thought about those as like something I need to work on. And that's maturity, right? Maturity comes with time. And if we're not investing in workers, if we're not having companies pour into the people that they already possess, no wonder you got to hire outside talent. And if our internal talent from the school system or their socioeconomics, single moms, parents that are whatever it is, good or bad, indifferent, lazy, rich, entitled, trust fund kids, go the whole way up the socioeconomic ladder. Trust fund kids are the first one to bankrupt their grandparents. They didn't earn the money. They don't know what hard work. We hear it all the time. But if you're not, you have to build those people. Now, I know business is running on a profit today, not 10 years from now, because the business could close 10 years from now. But if we're talking that we want a country of highly skilled, intelligent people, that takes time. And time requires money. And money requires success. And success requires So you need a generation before to teach the generation now. And that's the problem we're facing is the generational gap. And it's also coming to my attention more and more working with young people. David, I'm sure you deal with this, and I deal with this going up. My 40, 50-year-old counterparts, even though him and I are relatively the same job, he's way more experienced. I'll never say I'm as good as him. But him and I roughly are both electricians. But the way he talks to 20-year-olds is far different than the way I talk to 20-year-olds. Now, I know he's 40 or 50. I get that. But like, dude, we're both men here. And you were also 20 years old once too. Like, how would you want to be handled at 20? Now we can say the world's soft and kids can't handle this, and that may be true, but like maybe people being sensitive is actually a good thing. Because sensitivity, I'm not meaning like you cry. I mean like
there's a line. There's a line.
Maybe people being more in touch with what gets them upset is a good thing. And we're not embracing that. Like older people, even me, sometimes I'm rude. I'm not going to say that I'm fucking perfect. But then I have to step back and be like, fuck, man, I feel like a dick. I'm trying to learn how to be nicer and not be intimidating to people. But I never thought I was intimidating. I didn't think I came off that way. I just thought it was like, oh, I have a strong personality. And I do. But to people that aren't comfortable with themselves, they feel bulldozed. And then to go further, if I do have a strong characteristic and a strong personality, I'm highly disagreeable. And I know other people aren't like that. A true man, a true leader would be like, hey, I'm really disagreeable. I need to check my ego twice as much because most people aren't like me. And this is like my transition, I hope in the next 5, faster the better, but probably, as I get older even, I'm going to have to like mellow out, men, but men say my testosterone dropped or whatever and they mellow out. But like, it's just really just self-regulation because of self-awareness. And to go around back to Trump here, yes, you lied. You said that you were going to give Americans the jobs that illegals had. You said that. I heard it at least 1,000 times.
They want to deport the illegals.
You can't flip-flop. Like, I mean, you can. That's fine. You're still going to hang for treason. But like, you can't flip-flop. If anything, Trump, the master, well, I love Trump because he doubles down. Where's the double down Trump on this? And this is the problem. because Donald Trump is doing the same thing. He's promoting the very system that got us here, that made us need to go for outside talent because we stopped investing in America, which was your whole platform. How many schools are getting built? You know what's funny? I drive by that Bill Stadium almost every day. It's right next to a college. Literally, ECC is right next to the stadium. They
Yeah, we used to
share a
work there.
parking lot. Okay? I haven't seen them build a new college. You can put all the my local community, they got a newer fucking sports complex and great. You got a computer room, great. But what's our reading averages? How many teachers did you hire? I know I'm becoming more and more what did I say, commie as I get older? Because like you guys spend so much money on killing people. You said that you can't give us health care, but it's a lie. You didn't care about the budget. And then to go further, David, I don't care about the budget anymore because the budget's you owe it to billionaires. The government owns Elon Musk money. And he knows he's never going to get it. So then he uses that as a leverage to get political power, like building Tesla factories in New York City. And that's the corruption. That's the hidden doors. That's the dead of the night deals. And you know what? If that's how the world works, fine. We've worked for the very billionaires, David. We know how the world works. But the thing is like you guys stopped investing in this country so that we had to go for outside help. That was the point of NAFTA and GATT. Now, I'm not saying I want low quality work here. I hate that when they build a McDonald's because the only people that work at McDonald's are minimum wage jobs. And then you go in there and it's not 19-year-olds. It's like 99-year-olds. I was at Target today. And the woman that was just putting away clothes. Now, maybe she's doing it for different reasons to stay busy and or activate. That's fine if that's it. But if she has to work, she used to be married to one of my high school history teachers. I don't know if they're still married. I didn't see if they got whatever. Maybe he died. I don't fucking know. But like, I would like to think that like they were better set up than her having to work at Target.
Some people do it just because they're bored, and
she didn't look like she was just bored, David. She did not.
I don't. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm just saying her body language. She used to be a hall monitor at my school, the very school that her husband worked at. So like what I'm saying is like that Target job is supposed to be for minimum skilled people. I'd like to think that a 60-year-old doesn't have minimum skills after 40 years of working.
No, but
like, is it their fault? Crazy? Is it the business's fault? Is it society's fault?
You know what's crazy?
I know it's everything.
Look at this from the business aspect too, though. Like if you have the choice, if you're paying, I don't know what Target pays now.
18. We'll just say
$18 an hour. Sure, you're paying $18 an hour. Someone comes along with, I mean, they're say 55 years old, right? They're decently responsible human.
They probably got a house and a car payment.
Yeah, they're older. They just want to show up to work, kind of do their thing, and go home. They're not like the highest skilled person on planet Earth, but like they've had their life figured out, right? Or you get someone who's 17, they're still in high school. Sometimes they're going to show up, sometimes they're not. Like, which person, if you're Target, are you hiring? I'm not hiring a 17-year-old for fucking $18 an hour when I can hire the responsible adult.
I know, but when the 17-year-old is 28, you got to outsource for a fucking illegal immigrant because you didn't invest in a 17-year-old. You didn't give a poor kid $10,000 to go to trade school. That was me. There's no 100% guarantee that I was going to be a successful member of society after the government gave me 10 grand to go to school. There was zero
Yeah, but I agree. But like if I'm Target, now I have to hire the worst of the two options so that a factory in Georgia can has better employees 20 years from now. Like I'm not going to do that. I'm just not. I'm going to take the better person every time.
And then this is how we get in the generational gap.
Sure.
And then the older people shame young people for not knowing what to do, but it's like nobody fucking showed them. You didn't have on-the-job training. You didn't have this. You didn't give them the $10,000 to go to trade school. You said you need to go earn like my dad. You should work on a farm before you get a student loan. I was like, Dad, why would you make a kid work on a farm and waste the best years of his life to work on a fucking farm? Well, he's got to know what it's like to put in hard work. It's like in your head because you worked on a farm. Like it doesn't match up. Like we either invest in people or we don't. You can't do both.
Well,
You
here's the
can't.
thing. Here's the thing. Here's where I agree, but here's where I slightly disagree. The investing needs to start way before you're 20 and looking for a job.
Sure.
Because at that point, now I'm the business, I'm making the best decision for me. But really what we need to do, it has to go literally all the way back. It has to start at the very beginning. It has to start with a complete cultural shift.
But when it doesn't, what do? Tell them to learn how to code? Because that was the thing. Just learn to code, boomers. Okay, boomer, learn to code. They're not going to learn how to code. They have to learn 50 years of technology in fucking 5 years. It's never going to happen. But there's no boomer class on coding. But you're shaming the boomers. I'm going both ways on this now.
Yeah.
Like, and then the solution is you hire outside help. I get that. But like, then we're going to be in the same generational gap that we're in fucking now. And then the older people are going to be bitching and shaming the younger people. Like, when I was a kid, blah, blah. Yeah, because we had different programs. There was less of a generational gap. It was a different time. Now, granted, I don't want our kids smoking cigarettes and drinking beer with grandpa at on-the-job training to be an electrician.
You keep saying generational gap, and I agree, but I think it ties into what I'm saying. The reason there's a generational gap is because there's a cultural difference between the generations. There has to be a shift back to a culture that we know that works.
Amen. I agree. I just keep bringing up the generational gap because that we're not going to be able to change that for another generation. And then by the time our kids' generation is old enough to work, the generation that's supposed to be on-the-job training them never got on-the-job training to even train our kids. Mm-hmm. It's like there's that saying that real men plant trees that they will never sit under. They will plant the seeds of a forest that they will never sit under. They will never feel the shade of the sun. They will only see the thing this big. They'll die. They'll die planting seeds, knowing that their grandkids will sit under that tree. That's not happening. Nobody's thinking that far ahead. The Native Americans used to think 7 generations ahead before they made any decision. Not saying all the time. Mm-hmm. But like when you talk to people and they get the people that I know that are super big into the native stuff, it's like they think 7 generations ahead. And like, I don't know 2 people that think that far ahead. I can say I think that far ahead, but in reality, if I were to write down like all the stuff I'm out here and all my aspirations, like it's probably like stops like a generation and a half from now.
The thing is, I remember, and I'm saying this as a millennial, but I remember thinking the millennials were just absolutely the worst. Like just so unmotivated, so just terrible. Because I worked with a lot of the older generation, and when I was watching them, and they were just machines. It was just incredible to watch. They were just so like nonstop, no breaks, just all gas, no breaks. It was just incredible to watch. Dude, I watched a guy, one of the techs at the dealer we worked at, he cut the tip of his finger off. It went on the floor. He wrapped his finger. He came and got some parts and started hanging them on the car. And like he's lost his finger. He's like just going about his business. I'm like, this guy is fucking on another planet. And I'm not saying that's like everyone should just cut their fingers off and keep working, but
it's kind of a mental illness, probably, David.
Sure. It's like the extreme to make a point, though, which is I remember watching that dude and thinking, man, millennials are just awful because of that guy, but also because like I'm out working the shit out of most millennials, and I'm like, this is crazy. These guys are so fucking lazy. It's insane. And then I'm seeing the younger generation now, and I'm like, holy, it's getting worse. It's craziness. Now, again, you can still find some bright spots here and there. It's not everybody all the time. I'm just saying law of averages. And that is generational. But again, I think that is a culture thing because the guy who cut his finger off and kept working, what did his dad work like?
In Vietnam and World War II.
And you know what? I could just imagine like as he cut his finger off, his initial instinct was probably, shit, I need to find that and go to the hospital. And I know for a fucking fact in the back of his head, he just heard his father, "What are you, a bitch?
Yeah,
Get to work.
what are you, a pussy? You got, your
Come on,
family
you
needs food.
fag."
Yeah,
Dude,
your
I
family needs
guarantee
food.
it. Guarantee it.
What are you,
It's
gay?
just, what are you, gay? You need all your fingers? That's why you have 10, you bitch. I guarantee it. It's crazy. But like the farther you get down through the generations, the more the culture changed. And again, I'm not saying it's a good thing that you would cut your finger off and keep working, but there has to be a shift back. The culture has to start coming back because, and again, this, ironically, this was a big reason for my support of Trump, was to bring the culture back.
Yeah,
Because
this
when
is
you
the
do
weak
bring the
men make
culture
weak
back,
times and make weak
yeah,
people.
when you do bring the culture back, now we can start fixing the workforce. Now we can start working about skilled people. Not everybody's worth coaching. That's another unfortunate reality. It's just not. I mean, some people aren't worth putting the time into, unfortunately.
The military can't use you unless you have at least an 80 IQ.
But, you know, I don't know. I'm not saying we need to replace our whole workforce with which H-1Bs. I think that's absolute insanity. I'm not completely against the idea. Like, listen, if the best doctor in the world's from India, then I'm bringing him here.
Well, I was just actually going to say that this was like the whole Harvard thing that Trump said.
Mhm.
Be like, well, it's racism if we don't just admit the people that are the most qualified. But it'd be like, it would be all Asians at Harvard.
Sure. But who cares? That's the most qualified people, right?
Well, qualified are the biggest Chinese
But also,
test tube plants ever, David.
well, here's the other thing,
like
though.
that fucking
Are they the
Asian
most
baseball player. That guy was grown in a fucking lab. That pitcher, fucking World Series MVP, fucking Masahiro Moto's fucking great grandfather, Yao Ming's CRISPR genes.
like are we? That's the other thing, though. We're talking about American colleges, right? Are we sending our best and brightest to American colleges, or are we sending other people's best and brightest to our American colleges? Because I have a problem with that too. Like, there's a lot.
This is
here.
immigration and
Say,
gumballs, David. This is
there's a lot here.
immigration and gumballs. That video we played on the program, look it up on YouTube. It's brilliant. I know it's dated now, but the guy's main crux of the argument is there's no way we're going to fix immigration by bringing people to this country. Those people that live in the country need to make their countries better. Which isn't on us, you know what I mean? Like,
but I will just say, though, just to really round it out, I don't hate an immigration policy of I'm going to pick the best and brightest. I think that's okay. I don't know if I need to bring
yes,
in...
the wealthy do go to college. Yes.
Oh,
back in the
100%.
day, the only people that would go to college, right? You know, Mandy, you probably know this. If you're, you know, I'm not going to guess a woman's age, but
52.
based on your early, Dave, you fucking animal. Never. You look one day over 21. That's what I say to old ladies, dude. Oh, you're so sweet.
So you're calling her an old lady now. Nice. I said she was a young 52.
Dave, I swear, I will drive to Pennsylvania.
I said
keep putting words in my
You
mouth.
called her an old lady.
I'm gonna unplug your toilet.
Be nice.
So
Be nice to Mandy. She's a nice lady.
She gets us paid. I'm still waiting for my dollar. But yeah, to your point, Mandy, the rich people were like, my mom said it too, like they never pushed college on it. My mom never pushed college. Like the only people that were going to college were people that were really smart in school, that were going to be doctors and lawyers and shit like that. Like, you know, some would argue, I don't even know if you need to go to college to be a teacher.
You know, I forgot who I heard say this. It could have been Trump. What? How come, like, you know this, like in the automotive industry, or even you can get into like electrical or whatever, like in a lot of trades, you learn most of what you learn on the job, working with someone who's already skilled. Why? I will never understand. Why can't that work with like doctors or teachers? Why do you have to go to school for 12 years to be a doctor when could you learn more shadowing an established doctor for for 12 years. Like,
do you think
know
medical
what I
school should
mean?
just be like 6 months of on-the-job training before you touch a textbook?
I think you should be almost all on the job training. I'm not saying you shouldn't have to like read things. That's of course not. But I think you're going to get way more from shadowing an established doctor or
David,
from
I think if they did that, those people would quit, and then they wouldn't be able to have
who,
the
with the doctors.
oh, anybody that were to get. I'm just guessing here. If you were to take a teacher before they ever teach, okay, or before they ever go to school to be a teacher, and you stick them in a classroom full of kids for 5 summers, 5 full years of school, they'd be like, I don't want to be a fucking teacher. These kids suck.
Perfect. That's even better because what happens now is they spend 8 years in college or 4 years in college. I don't think a teacher. I think you can go for 4 years. They spend
It's like
4
8
years in
years of
college
teaching for your
and
masters,
and
at least in the state.
and then what? They get into the field and then they're miserable because they hate it, but it's the only thing they're trained to do, and they're getting a
limit
good
segregate
wage.
people. Yes, the rich get richer, richer.
So now you are creating a system where you have miserable teachers who hate their job, but they're doing it for a paycheck and not because they want to teach kids how to learn. That's part of the issue. I think the other way is actually going to fix the problem because you're going to have someone go in and shadow for a year and go, fuck this, not for me. And then they can move on with their life. And now you're going to get teachers who want to teach because they want to teach. Because there will be, for every 10 people who say, fuck this, there's going to be one that goes, you know what, I kind of like this.
But we need teachers, David, so we got to con kids at 18 to be teachers when they're 28.
But what if I con them at 18 to spend a year with a teacher?
In trades, David, they say that those who can no longer do teach. And I think that might be beneficiary. I'm not saying we need geriatric teachers. You know, I heard a statistic that there is, I don't know the amount, but there is more female fighter pilots in the Air Force than there is male kindergarten teachers.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if that's, I mean, that's fine.
No, that's not fine, because how are we going to teach young boys if there's no males guiding them at a young age on?
That would
And then
be
it
their
also,
father.
okay, but at school, boys are more
Yeah, but I don't.
disagreeable. They're more the point of it is that in the school structure,
Mhm.
women don't know how to handle disruptive boys. Whether or not it's fathers or not, that's fine. I agree. But there is kids in school without fathers, and they are assholes for our kids trying to learn. So how do you solve
Sure.
that? You're going to send a woman in there? She doesn't even know what it's like to be a guy, let alone a guy without a father, let alone how to control your anger as a man when you don't have a father. Like, honestly, the prime candidate for a teacher is me, just that's way more empathetic. Like, you almost need fucked up people to teach unfucked up people. Like, you need flawed people to go teach unflawed people. I think TS poured into us, dude, because you know what? He had a hard fucking life. And he was at a spot that he didn't have a hard life anymore. And he remembered what it was like to be us, having a hard life.
Yeah, I think I got a little bit of that in me, where I kind of try to feel that out because I don't want to
Poured
like
the
speak.
kids that remind you of yourself.
Yeah, well, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I remember having a harder upbringing than most people I work with.
I don't even talk about it anymore, honestly.
And the thing is, and I hate to like say it like that because I don't listen. Like our upbringings are still slightly different in certain ways, but like we both grew up poor as fuck. For one, for sure. Both grew up with parents who were separated. But I can't say anything like I couldn't say anything bad about my parents.
Yeah.
You know, they're good. They're good. They were good parents. You know,
they were trying their best with what they were given to.
Sure. But
they were people too.
Yeah, I still had a much tougher upbringing than most of the people I work with.
I've been told before, I actually just told this to my mom the other day, that I've had people come up to me and like assume that my parents are millionaires because of the way I carry myself. Like my level of at least projected success.
Yeah,
like, oh, you like you grew up like really nice, you know, like yeah, that's what happens when you work with billionaires. They kind of show you the way on how to fake it till you make it. It's kind of real, dude. Like, it's really real. But like, you know, and then it's funny because Alex Hormozy and Chris Williamson actually said that. They said that that you won when winning is people thinking that you come from a wealthy family, when in reality you're fucked up. And it's not like you're hiding a false thing of yourself, because honestly, when you sit down with, when you're successful, and I'm not even speaking myself here, like I'm sure if TS were to open up, be like, yeah, man, I battle with mental health, which is why I drink every day. You'd be like, wow, dude, you would actually listen to that guy because he has this outward image of success, right? It's like, well, you're a millionaire. You're not fucked up. He's like, well, really, I'm more fucked up than you because I'm fucked up with millions of dollars. Which is why More Money, More Problems by Biggie Smalls is so true. But maybe you ever
tell like a story about your childhood to somebody you work with, and they look at you like, what the fuck were you doing when you were a child?
David, I was
telling the story about the ice cream truck that used to come around my neighborhood at like 2-3 a.m.
Holy fuck, dude.
People are like, what the fuck do you mean there was an ice cream truck at 2 a.m.? I was like, yeah, it's used to sell drugs out of the ice cream
Yeah,
truck.
they're not selling ice cream, like, obviously.
Yeah, no, they were selling drugs out of the ice cream truck.
The one that got me, dude, was
it came around every day.
The one that got me, now, not all marriages are great marriages, but like I asked all my coworkers, like all of them. I was like, your guys' parents married? They're like, yeah. I was like, what about you? Yeah. 7 people. And the one dude who's my age, parents got divorced young and they remarried and they're happy. Like everybody has like, they're at least outward. Their parents seem okay. They're, they probably have they have the American dream. Like they all come from people with houses. I went to one of my coworkers' houses. He's a young kid. His name's Jude. He's dope. But I bullied him into being a better worker, David, because I saw in him what he didn't have was like that hardness that you're describing of like, dude, just fucking lift the panel. Like, just do it. Just stop and do it.
But I met a little bit of Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, I met his parents, and they're very nice people. Like his dad is like an insurance salesman.
Yeah,
and his mom's like a psychologist, like a therapist. It's like,
yeah,
that makes a lot of sense why you like just don't understand how fucking brutal the world can be. Is like, not that you were sheltered. If anything, I'm jealous of you, dude. Like, I got beat over the head with some shit, and here you are thinking that nobody suffers. But in saying that, all of my coworkers' parents were married. Now, my parents never got even remarried. They didn't even find healthy relationships again, ever.
Oh, see, that's another one of our differences.
Now, I know that says maybe more about them than the system and marriage itself. I understand that. I'm not saying they're all healed, amazing people, and I'm not shaming them because we all got different cards. But in the grand scheme of things, yes, David, I know exactly what you're describing. And then I was also talking to people about like some shit I did when I was a kid, and they looked at me. I was like, what? My friends and I genuinely thought that we were on Jackass. Like we were trying to be Johnny Knoxville and Steve-O on purpose.
We used to
would blow shit up on purpose.
I was telling this to Eve before. I told this to Eve before, but I told this to somebody at work, and I tried to describe it in like local terms, but I used to ride my bicycle. I used to ride my bicycle from West Seneca, Cheektowaga, Depewish area to like Lockport and back every day. Do you know how long a bike ride that is?
It's like 3 hours, dude.
But we'd like like the whole way there. We'd BMX. We'd like find little curbs or find railings or stairs or whatever, and we would do it like all day, every day. And we'd go there and we'd come back and we'd hit them on the way back. Like, and sometimes we'd find money and stop off at a Taco Bell or a Mighty Taco or some shit. But like, I don't know. It's just what we did. And every day was what we did. The one time
I got drunk
I skateboarded the whole way there. You know how far that is on a skateboard?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, we skated everywhere, and we were just worried about smoking cigarettes, getting drunk, and fingering girls on couches that were probably filled with fucking the worst shit ever. The one time my buddy's basement flooded, and we had 2 mattresses and 2 couches down there with 2 TVs, and we would just watch movies and snuggle. And it flooded with shit water. We never threw those out. You know what I mean? And we still laid on them. And there was girls that still came over.
Dude,
because we were the ones with cigarettes and beer. You know?
Dude, my house had the
Fucking
futon.
terrible. The food,
That thing,
yeah.
the futon. That thing saw stuff.
That thing got folded up multiple
was-
ways, legs up over its.
That thing was. Whew, whew. No, but like,
It's good walls
yeah,
don't have mouths, David,
no, it's.
because you'd fuck those too.
I was telling that story. Yeah, I don't know. I just the one time I drove Eve through like the neighborhood I grew up in, and there's just like we're going and going and going, and she starts seeing bars on the windows, and she's kind of starting to get suspicious. Like
Crack was real, dude. Crack was a real thing around here.
She's like, all these buildings have bars on the windows. I was like, yeah, so nobody breaks in. She's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Where are we? Like down by the fruit belt.
Yeah, dude, crack was a real thing in Buffalo, dude. Like it was a real thing. I've been told this by older people. The race wars in the 60s, the reason why Buffalo has so many townships, I just realized this today. The reason why Orchard Park and Hamburg, the reason they all segregated was because of fucking racism. There's a whole section. Now, I know every city has this, but the old First Ward is all Irish. Now, it's probably Puerto Rican and X, Y, and Z by now, but like Lackawanna was like all Polak.
Yeah, I think
the reason
Polak.
No, Lackawanna is fucking 99% Arab. They're Muslim. Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude.
Where the hell do all the Polacks go?
To Hamburg and Orchard Park, because the Muslims started taking over. And I said the Muslims, I mean Lackawanna 7, David. Fucking terrorists. There was a guy in Lackawanna that cut his wife's head off, and then he was a doctor and a lawyer. Cut his wife's head off because she didn't hijab or whatever. And then he represented himself in the court, because in New York you have to pass the bar exam to represent yourself. You need legal. I would call it on cruel and unusual punishment, David. But yeah. So then he not only was he the fucking he was his own lawyer and what the shit just doesn't happen. But he's Muslim, and then, honestly, I know somebody who knew the family, and it got even crazier. Like the whole, when you dig into it, the point is, that they have OLV down there, Our Lady of Victory, the big ass church with the copper dome that they're taking off. It's the most beautiful church, most beautiful building I've ever been to. I cried when I first walked in there. I worked there. I actually did some electrical work there. Super dope. I'm grateful for that. But the building has a shit ton of copper on it, and it looks just like the Statue of Liberty. It all patinaed to that iodized copper that turns like that green blue color, that teal color. And they're going through and they're recoppering all of it. And I make the joke because the church is about 100 years old. Yeah, it's dope, dude. Look up pictures sometimes. But I made the joke that they're gonna turn that whole shit copper just in time for the Muslims to buy the church off the Christians. Because everywhere you go down there is just it's just brown Muslims. And then you get into like West Seneca, East Seneca, that's where like the Puerto Ricans and the old whites that hang out there. But my point in saying all that is like this area, yeah, dude, like it's probably on the other side of Bailey. It's like Bailey and Jefferson in between theirs. Dude, there's no grass anymore. And there's no jobs. I literally drive through there. I drive all over Western New York for my job. Dude, it is like a fucking sliding scale of income inequality. Like, it's startling. The average person in Buffalo makes like $38,000 or $37,000 or some shit. Cool. The median. The families make 32 grand or 42 grand. A family. 1 in 4 poverty rate in the city of Buffalo. 27% of the city of Buffalo is poor. Like poverty level poor.
What are you supposed to do with that? You can't do anything.
Start over. Like that's what you can't kill these people, right? You can't fucking Jew them. But like,
no, you're gonna have to. I mean, the only thing you can do, honestly, is import people from India to make those people who earn 32,000 earn 16,000. That should fix it.
This literally is tying right into Trump. This is why I say, like, dude, the reason those people make money is because no business in the city of Buffalo is pouring into the people that work there, because they have this dated model of fuck that guy, he needs to come. The guys that they want the killers. It's like, dude, there's no killers in Buffalo. They all left. The killers left, dude. Or they live in Hamburg and make 6 figures at West Her selling cars. Like, they're not staying in Buffalo. They make the money and get the fuck out of there. Because why would you when 3 out of 4 of your neighbors can barely afford any fucking food? There's literally homeless people sleeping in Lafayette Square in front of City Hall with garbage bags on the ground. Like, you'll drive around in the city of Buffalo. You're right, dude, the Bill Stadium is 10 minutes away. They're sleeping on book bags at the fucking intersections. I've never seen this in my life. But what do? Can I take that guy and like just go get him a job? No, he probably fucking is on drugs. Probably hasn't showered. He probably doesn't even know what a computer. He probably has a smartphone, yeah, but like, do you know how to operate a fast food menu? Like, can you use the POS system at fucking McDonald's? Probably not. My buddy runs a fast food restaurant. He's general manager of the fast food restaurants around here. One of the fast food chains. And like, he has trouble finding people. And he says the 17, 18-year-olds that he gets, that he hires, it's not the same as the 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds that were when we were kids. Now, we could be romanticizing the past. We definitely do that. But like, yeah, what do you do? Because you still got to serve the goddamn food now, not 5 years from now.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the issue. There's no quick fix.
Wow, dude. Mandy, where do you live? Do you live
homeless people sleeping on the corner of your actual street is pretty crazy.
Do you live in Niagara Falls, Canada? Or like, are you right? Like, what is that? Not St. Lawrence. St. Catharines or something, or Toronto? Because I could see Toronto. When I went to DC with Dave, we actually saw like a homeless like colony. They were under the thruway. It looked like a bazaar of fucking, like a grand bazaar of tents. It was crazy.
I went to Toronto probably
Love Toronto.
Forever ago. Windsor, just across from Detroit. Yeah, that makes sense. Last time I went to Toronto, it was probably...
Michigan has a crazy high homeless population, and I've been told that Michigan's bad because they closed a lot of the mental institutions in Michigan. They defunded them, and those people just went on the streets. They sleep in junkyards and shit. I know a guy I work with from Michigan, and he said it's fucking terrible.
Yeah, 100%. No, I went to Toronto probably 15, 20 years ago at this point. And it was a beautiful city, but I guarantee it's like ravaged with homeless, drugs. Like it's
I went to in 2020. I didn't notice homeless people. No. I went 2020 in February, so maybe they were shut in somewhere, but it was a clean city.
What happened here exactly?
What they closed mental institutions? That's probably, they say most homeless people are mentally ill. That's their problem. That's why you can't just rehabilitate these people. And once again, we can build the Bill Stadium is going to be fucking $1 trillion when they're done with it.
They emptied the mental institutions. They closed them and just let them run the streets. See, now that was the thing Trump was pushing, was reopening these mental facilities, right?
Dude, we don't have to we have to build new ones. There's more mentally ill people now than ever. I'm not saying like,
I wonder if COVID.
Yeah, I'm not saying like straitjacket either. Like, there needs to be like clinics that people can go and talk to therapists even. Like, I'm almost for therapy as a principle. Not that I like people getting caught in the therapy industrial complex like anything else, but like some people just need somebody to fucking talk to feel a little bit better. Even though they want to jump off a bridge. Let the guy say, I want to jump off a fucking bridge and not put him in handcuffs. Like, just let him have his breakdowns.
I like the idea of real therapy. I'm not here to like judge different therapy, but I think a lot of times what happens is a therapist will hear you for a session, he'll prescribe you some depression medication and then ship you on your way. And I don't know, how much does that actually help? None?
Well, it depends, David.
Maybe some, but probably not really.
It kind of goes with like the thing of like, is it better to give people answers or help them get to the solution themselves?
Help them every time.
I don't think giving answers is the solution.
No. Can it help them temporarily? Sure.
Right. You don't teach people math by giving them 2 + 2 = 4. You don't just tell them that 2 + 2 is 4. You try to show them how to take 2 + 2 to get 4. And I would argue that most modern therapy, even the medical system in general, is just giving people 4 right away because it's ran by profit. Maybe we really do. I'm not even saying I believe this, the living wage thing. Maybe we do need to just pay everybody a lot of fucking money so that they actually care about what they do. Because you know what? You do care a lot more when you can't. If I can't buy bread or milk or a house is a 50-year mortgage for $400,000 fucking dollars, that seems hopeless. Even if you have a college degree, even if you're educated, even if you make six figures, even if the average car is $50,000.
I want to say the average new car payment, if I remember correctly, was like
$700
$700 and something. Yeah.
You're not, dude, that's a fucking how? How are you and your wife affording that and a mortgage and children?
And you
health?
make $30,000 a year in Buffalo.
It's never gonna
as a
happen.
family.
Yeah, you should honestly, if you don't want to jump off a bridge with that kind of that's my outlook in life. If you don't want to jump off a bridge, you're the mentally ill one. You know what I mean? Because it's like, how fucking hard are you gonna make life? How hard are you gonna make life for people? I shared the story. I tried to just go downtown to just get like light government assistance. And they're like, you make too much. It's like, but I still need fucking help, dude. Like I still need help. Like, it's not about how much money you make, it's how you spend. But like, dude, when you get behind the 8 ball, you're behind the 8 ball. Like, it don't fucking matter. There's not enough money in the world. But you can just print it and give it to Ukraine? You can just print it and give it to Musk? Now, granted, give it to Musk because he's going to build jobs. I understand the capitalistic Republican ideal, but we have to be able to do both. You know, Bernie Sanders, the one thing I did agree with him is it's capitalism for the poor and socialism for the rich. I 100% believe that. I 100%. Now, you can say, once again, David, yes, give the money to them, tax-free, Amazon, Jeff Bezos. They're going to build shit and make jobs. But, dude, we're getting to robots now. I told you guys a couple days ago. Like, I'm so over the idea of capitalism. Capitalism don't exist. Crony capitalism don't even exist. Also, I'm seeing that AI is the new bubble. Isn't that what AI would want you to think, David? Crypto is a bubble. Is it really? Is that why we're building data centers all over the fucking country? It's just a bubble. It's not government infrastructure. It's not military infrastructure. You think they want you to invest in the thing that's going to make everybody rich in the future? I'm not saying I believe this all the way, but psychologically, you're telling me this is a bubble? But I thought shit's too big to fail. So what happens when crypto's too big to fail, just like GM was? But you told me to not buy Bitcoin because it's a bubble. But it was too big to fail. Because those crypto farms, we had the guy on, Dave fucking lined it up. Those Bitcoin farms are battery centers, and they're backfeeding the power grid to give people electricity. How's that not a benefit? It's see, that's the thing. People are only looking at these things binarily. Like, crypto isn't just a money source. It's an energy and a data center as well, David. A little information for you. A little government information psyop. Facebook is a data collection company masquerading as a social media company. McDonald's is a bank. It's actually a real estate company if you really look at it. I was told that by my trade school instructor. And the way he phrased it to us, he's like, what does McDonald's do that you can't do? And we're like, what do you mean? He's like, what do they sell? We're like, cheeseburgers. He's like, can you make a cheeseburger at your house? We're like, yeah. He's like, then why is McDonald's a business if they can do what you can do? And of course, everybody's like, well, it's fast food. You just get food, you're hungry. He's like, no, dude, they're real estate. Look at the value of the real estate that those buildings are on. And they're all $1 million real estate buildings. And then on top of it, since McDonald's is such a brand, when McDonald's goes into an area, they spend all this money on research, they'll build a McDonald's and then other businesses pop up around McDonald's, thus increasing the net gains and the real estate value of the McDonald's that was built. Except McDonald's built that property when it was $50,000 monthly rent. Now it's $500,000 rent. So they 10x their money as well as create the economy, which is why they're a fucking bank. McDonald's will give you free food on DoorDash if you do 10 deliveries or not. On top of fucking paying me $8 to drop off $8 worth of food to EBT people. How's that not a bank? It's literally the Ponzi scheme's right in front of us. So you can give all the money to the rich people. You can't give it to poor people because you're worried they're going to buy booze. Go buy your booze, dude. I don't even give a fuck anymore. Give the heroin addicts heroin. I don't care anymore. You just give everything away anyways. You fucking give it away to Bezos. You give it away to Musk. He can blast all the rockets to space. The guy's talking about leaving us here. And we're like, yeah, here's $1 trillion. You don't want to give a fucking junkie $5 so he can shoot up for the day to feel a little bit better about his shitty life? It's kind of fucked up. We have more empathy for billionaires than we do the average person, because those people produce something. But money's irrelevant. Musk even said money will be irrelevant. Do you understand? It's weird. We're in a weird spot. This had to be like what farmers felt like during the Industrial Revolution. And they're like, oh, everybody left the farm to work in a factory. It's like, yeah, well, they were all making more money and could have a higher standard of living. It's like, yeah, but you gutted the old world, and now look at where it got us. We're all fat and depressed because we work in a factory that doesn't even exist anymore because it went overseas to China to do the same shit there that they did here. Weird, dude. They disregard a whole segment of society and they end up homeless. Yeah. I agree with the rehab thing. I don't want people to be on drugs. I'm just saying, like, people do crazy things to get a fifth of vodka. And it's like, if you were to just give that guy a fifth of vodka and maybe fucking, I'm not saying have him work at McDonald's all tore up, but maybe that guy can like be shipping, receiving guy and just put boxes on the back of a pickup truck. How come we don't have H-1 visas for drug addicts? I know I've worked at factories that have employed sex offenders because they get tax reimbursements from the state government to rehabilitate these people. So programs do exist, and there's no perfect system. And I'm also not one to just I don't want to federalize and governmentize everything, but the very people telling me that we can't do the thing because we can't afford it are spending 10 times the amount of money on shit we can't afford to begin with.
Dude, they
Like
changed the Department
Trump's
of
double
Defense.
dip. The Department of War.
They changed it to the Department of War. You know how crazy that is?
I don't like that, honestly.
You know how crazy that is?
David, how long have we been saying World War III is going on?
Oh my God, 5 years?
February 2022.
Is that how long? 3 years?
Yeah, I had the fucking warhead on. I said I'm not taking it off till the war's over. I'd still have that fucker on. So. Yeah. Either way, I didn't mean to confuse anybody, but all the same. Trump double dipped. He got caught, and he did what Trump does. So, I heard he sucked off Bill Clinton in the Epstein files. Did you hear that?
No, I did not.
That's something I heard. We'll see if it comes to light. And Candace Owens is still on the warpath with the Charlie Kirk thing.
Oh, she ain't gonna stop.
Well, until then, Dave Ryan, December 1773. Catch us on Rumble for the only podcast in human history. As always, David, I appreciate you most for your time, and I will see Mandy and everybody later.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, guys.